Lubrication circuit RTR 200. The oil pump, which is driven by the crankshaft, sucks oil from the oil strainer. Oil enters inside the pump gallery, flows out through this gallery, which goes and fills in this chamber. So once it gets filled in this chamber, the oil flows through this pipeline to the oil cooler, and after getting cooled down, the oil returns back to the clutch cover top. So the cooled oil from the oil cooler enters to this gallery. It comes to the oil filter gallery, gets filtered, and clean oil enters through the central hole, which gets filled up in this chamber. From this chamber it goes to three places. So one, the oil directly goes behind for crankshaft jet flow lubrication. So this lubricates the cylinder block, piston, underparts of piston, rings, cylinder walls. And one of the gallery comes here, fills in this chamber, which goes to the right side front stud for cylinder head lubrication. And another part of the oil gets filled here, which travels all the way here and goes to this gallery, comes here. So in old Apache there was external pipeline, here it is not there. So oil which is coming in this right side crankcase, similarly it enters the LH crankcase. You can see the hole here. In old Apache we used to have a banjo bolt here which is closed. So whatever oil entering through this gallery will go through the same gallery, flow the way down for the spray lubrication tube, copper tube, which will come here. It will internally pass for the input shaft bearing. It will internally pass behind the output shaft bearing. So in between oil seal and the bearing there is a small gallery. So the oil will enter through these small holes, lubricate the output shaft. Similarly, whatever oil entering the input shaft through this, the oil will flow through the through hole of the shaft. It will go inside, lubricate each and every gears, come out and lubricate the clutch assembly. Pause. Oil which is collected behind the filter also flows through this gallery, which in turn flows through the through hole of the crankshaft, goes inside the crankshaft and comes out to the through ports here, which in turn sprays and lubricates the piston, cylinder walls and cools the piston and valves. Cylinder head OC3 lubrication. So in normal vehicles the cylinder head gets cooled by the airflow which is passing through some galleries here. But in this vehicle you can notice there is no galleries and this part is sealed. Whereas in normal Apache you would see galleries here and the outside galleries coming near the spark plug area. But in this vehicle, whatever oil flows through the right side front stud, which you can see here, right side front stud hole, the oil goes inside and the top end is closed by a washer and a nut. So whatever oil going inside, there are two cross holes drilled inside. One cross hole takes the oil above the combustion chamber. So the part above the combustion chamber gets cooled. In old vehicle it was by air, here it is cooled by oil. So advantage is engine noise is reduced and better heat dissipation, 20 to 30% heat removal from the cylinder head happens. Once the cooling above gets finished, the oil comes out through these two ports, goes through this narrow cavity and falls back to the timing chain cavity, back to the sump. Cylinder head lubrication. Whatever oil entering through the right side front stud, oil comes through the right side front stud, goes through the cross hole drilled inside. Through the cross hole drilled inside, the oil goes inside and comes to the camshaft rear cavity, where the oil flows to the sealed bearing of the camshaft, lubricates the entire camshaft, sprays onto the rocker arm needle bearings, springs, valve seat, valve guides, then falls back through these two cavities, through the timing chain, lubricates and falls back to the sump. Whatever oil falling through the timing chain gallery falls down, and the oil which falls down lubricates the timing chain as well as the crankshaft big end bearing LH. Also the oil, you can see it is lubricating the balancer shaft LH bearing. So the oil goes inside this cavity, and lubricates the LH bearing and falls back to the sump.